All right, here we are. Hey, everybody. All right, I got a question straight from the bat. How is the sound? Is everything clean? Let's see. The reason why I'm asking is quite simply, it took me, what is it, like this 22 or 23 streams for me to figure out that for some reason Windows has switched my microphone going from my actual microphone to the microphone that's in the goddamn camera. And hence everything I've made in the last 2 months has been very, very, very quiet. And I just noticed that thing. So that's why I'm asking if there is actually any difference right now, because I still don't know how you guys can hear me right now. Is it clean, or is it like, okay, for everybody that has been with me for the last few streams, is there a difference in the sound on this stream compared to what we had in the previous ones? I definitely hope that that's the case. Otherwise, I'm gonna get pissed. Let me just see one more time. Audio. All right, this time the microphone is fine. All right. All right, if this is more audible, even better. Okay, let's get back to what we were actually doing then before I had my adventure with the microphone. Anyways, this is where we stopped the previous stream. We added in some of the geometry. We created some of the stuff for the interior. And one of the things that I did notice is I actually saw this when I was playing around with Unreal. And that is, if I go ahead and actually add in the geometry on the roof here, and I do something, I copied the floor generator script on top of my roof here. I just spaced. What it does, it makes it so it goes this way, which in this case is not right. It should probably be something like 90 and go this way. The way that I noticed this thing was simply when I opened up my scene inside Unreal. It didn't have all of these planks going across, which made everything wrong. So yeah, a small fix to remember when we start putting this thing together is get these things to go horizontally, not vertically. Right, so I'm going to delete this, and I want to address another thing before we do anything else, and that is if I can actually go in and increase the size of this thing. Let's see. Put this thing here. All right, so far this thing extends. All right, let's hide the roof entirely. This thing extends just to on one side like this, but what I wanted to do is I want to get this thing to extend across a bit bigger. So maybe something to the extent of, I don't know, get these two, move them over to about here, and just so I know exactly where this thing is supposed to go, I'm going to go and put one connect in the middle, and this should give me a place to snap this thing like that. Now remove that thing, and yeah, I get more to play with, but I'm gonna have to find a way so that this thing does not go down like this. So to get that, what I would do is either remove this whole plank here or cut it up somehow, which in this case I think it might be a better idea to cut it in here and actually put one that's going to be in between these two. So let's try something like that. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to do something like this, create one box, go from there to there. Alright. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. Alright, by the way, hi to everybody that's saying hi. I do apologize, I haven't seen the chat right away, so I'm just trying to like figure out some of the things before we start creating the rest. Oh. Alright, that's fine. So move it up until there. Alright, that should help hold that upper part. Now if I go and delete this thing from here, but remember we do want this thing to go on the bottom because there will be a roof to hold up, so that's good. I want to also have something like this piece near the floor. That's fine on that side. here. So put it like so. Alright, get this thing, one connect. Now move this thing up to there. Do we have enough? Yeah, that should be enough of a support. And now for this one, I want to go in and do a bit of cutting. So for just this thing, I'm gonna go and put in one connect there. Make it planar on the Z. Oh, no. Is it on the X here? Okay, make it edge. What the hell? Alright, so we're not gonna do it that way. But instead, what I'm gonna do is take just this thing and detach. Now get that one, and that one. Isolate. And now do the cuts this way. With the slice plane, I want to get one cut in there, another one in there, and turn off the slice plane, and now just select the middle part, remove it, and cap it together. So cap, cover up this thing like so. Cut that thing up. Alright, that's fine. Remove this thing, we just want to move it down just a tiny bit. Oh. Let's go and move it locally so I don't screw up with that thing. There we go. Way down. Back to world. Well, actually, yeah, damn, this thing is not going to be even visible, so this can be removed entirely. Okay. So if we have those two, I just need to select this thing, remove. Hold on, shift. Get this thing to cover up there. That's gonna be okay, I guess. And for this mid part, well, actually this can be the windows. I'm gonna have to put a frame for this window, and the frame is not gonna be too hard to create. Out of this thing, you can just select these polygons, use them as a frame. So let's go to detach. Why is my stuff on this side? Edit geometry. Really? Okay. Edit as clone. Detach as clone. Not edit. So select. What the hell? Just select. Okay, that's fine. So we have this thing. For this, I also want to do is go in here. Actually, first of all, just move it out a bit, just so I can see what the hell is going on. Put a different color. There we go. Now, go in here. One connect. It's gonna put it in the middle, right where we need it. Another chamfer will give me some width to this thing, something like this. So 10 centimeters should be fine. Get that one and that one, bridge them together. Now give them a shell so they have some thickness. All right, that's cool. What the hell is going on with the song? Shush. There we go. Something more chill. All right. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, David Olmsted. Morning. So Eastern USA then. All right, move this thing outwards. We have enough. Yep, that's more than enough. That's good enough. Okay. Now, let's check and see which way the shell is going to be extending, because if it extends in the positive, it will overlap my window in here, and since it's going in the inner amount, no, okay, so that's fine. It's going this way. All right, cool. Once we have that, let me just quickly check the geometry here. Everything is fine. Select everything. Clean up the smoothing groups. Clean all. Auto smooth. All right, no problems with that. For now, I'm just gonna leave it as it is because I don't need it to be very high detailed for now. I just need it so I can know where I'm supposed to put in these windows and doors as well. Because if you remember the last time we did the doors, we just quickly added in the geometry so we know where we are supposed to have that thing. But later on, we'll probably end up creating one master material or one master model for doors and one master model for windows, and we're gonna exchange it with the position of everything else. For now, I just want to make sure that I can have a place for everything to like be placed upon. Just move this thing inwards so I don't have this overlap like this, so I have clipping issues. There we go. Alright, cool. Really quickly add a UV unwrap with a box of 100 by 100 by 100. There we go. Drop in texture on it. Alright, cool. Now, let's quickly check and see. Oh, really? How's the music now? Alright, so this should give us a much more space up in this room. Oh, snap, what the hell? This thing is gonna... Oh, you know what? This thing here can actually be used as some sort of a seating. So this can go away from here. I don't have to deal with stupid stuff like this. The one on the top can stay though. It can stay in there, but this one, I can actually put something like a window side place to sit around and cover up this problem here. Cool. That's gonna be cool as well. Very, very cool idea. So for this, just move it. Edge constraint and move. Oh, no edge constraint. Damn it. Nah, this is gonna be a problem then. Cool. All right, now let me reinsert my roofs Let's see how this thing is gonna look like. Alright, cool. Get the floor generator from here, so copy. Paste up here. Again, do the rotation, direction 90. Oh yeah. This is a problem now. I haven't made that cut in the actual geometry here. Cool. Alright. Then I have to select this thing, and now make the cutout so I don't have that issue in here. So first of all, I want to save, otherwise I'm gonna have a problem later on. So one cut in there, one cut in here, one here, one for here, and one for here. Now get this thing to snap up here. Great. Get this thing to snap in. Oh no, edge constraint on, snap in there. Get this thing to snap over there, that thing to snap on this corner, and this thing to snap on the bottom, like so. So now what I wanted to do is I also want to cut from that edge to that edge, and that edge to there. So a bit of a problem here, being that this thing that we just cut is right there. Alright, cool. So select the polygons in the middle here, delete, weld these two together. So now, if everything is right, when I apply the floor generator and I rotate it 90 degrees, I shouldn't be getting that issue anymore, which is exactly what I needed. There we go. So all the planks are going right. There is no problems with anything else. Here we have a bit of a overlap, but no problem, not going to be visible. So anti-isolate here. Alright, copy this over on this side. Alright, cool. Let's quickly add in the geometry for this thing. So I'm gonna get this, detach it as the mini roof or cover roof. Go OK. Cover roof is fine. Get it to so it's a shell. The shell should be on the outer amount. Let's try with something like 20 again, like this. Yep. Straighten corners. Okay, so isolate this thing, and with a, oh wait a second, what the hell? Oh yeah, okay. So make it snap in here, make it snap in there. Well, actually they are snapped. So what we want to do is get that thing, and this thing to go back up until like so. And this is more or less of a visual thing. So before I do that, I'm gonna hide this plane. What is this, the exterior walls? All right, hide those. I wanna see how far the, oh crap. Okay, so this thing is gonna extend inwards as well. I'm gonna have to do something about that. To find a way to cover it up. All right, we'll deal with that. Let me hide the roof for now. back like so. And let's take those two and snap them. Instead of going with the ones that are on the outside, let's just go like this, or move them out like that. Select those two. So I want it just to sit on the actual roof and not go inside the house like that. Probably could have done this easier by just extending this thing inwards and just using a cut plane or slice plane and get that thing to look perfect. But if we did it that way, that would have been so much easier, and I wouldn't have had to like spend all this time to find a way to do it right. So yay. All right, first I want to open up my folder for ideas with the reference images so I can see the hell I'm building. Where is it? Yeah, this was the general idea about this thing. So we do want to have some overhang. And here's another interesting part. On the corners here, we have these covers, which might be a nice thing to add here because it's going to cover up much of the places where these two geometries are going to meet up. And also we have a different sort of a planks going across on the corners, so that might be interesting to add as well. All right, so first let's start with adding in the geometry for this thing. So now I'm gonna do this thing properly, and unlike last stream when this thing decided to crash on me, I'm gonna try my best to make sure it doesn't. And I want to save first. Hell. Now let's I'm gonna create one new layer, and in this layer I'm gonna call it what am I gonna call it? Roof tiles. Alright, so for the roof tiles, roof tiles 01, detach as clone, roof tiles 02, detaches as clone. Okay, those two can go so that one and that one can go in the roof tiles. And now isolate those two. So first paste that floor generator. Okay, so all right, let's see if this thing goes that way, or what we can do is, since this is not going to be like that, let's try without the directional. So 0. Yeah, this can work. Although what we can do here is decrease the length. So let's try with 100. All right, 30, 20. All right, so 30 by 30. Yeah, this is, I guess, better. I do want to get some difference, so let's change the direction a bit. Here's, or actually, no. Where's the variation? There we go. Maximum rotation. It's not really seen, so offset a bit. It's not changing too much. Really? Okay, this is what I was looking for. I want to have this look. So they kind of look like they've been tiled out of place from weather or whatever. All right, so copy this over on this side. Paste as an instance. There we go. Awesome. So, and isolate. Cool. So get that one and that one. Give them a different color this time since I know it's a roof. Red color. That's fine. Now, let's see what else I want to do. Oh yeah, I want to get the planks for this whole thing. So again, 1, 2, isolate everything. There we go. That's gonna be 1. I'm not gonna bother with naming this thing. So that's 1. This is another one. Detach this clone. And detach this clone. And de-isolate. Copy the floor generator from here. And go 1. So we're gonna have just, what is this? Okay, this is gonna be Control I and hide. All right, so just like this. Paste. That's fine. Paste another one in here. Oh, really? Ah. Thank you very much. Every stream Max has to crash. Damn it. What was the last time I did? What was the last thing I did before this thing crashed? Dude, this is not like related to a version of Max. This has been happening since Max 7 or Max 8. It's one of those things that Max likes to do, and that is crashing the most. Ah, damn it. Okay, whatever. Yeah, but hold on a second. Maybe it's saved up the autosave. Let's see. Come on. So go to my documents. Backup, no. Documents. Autodesk. 3ds Max. Auto backup. So this is 420. What date is it today? 20. Yeah, this is today. God damn. So it's 427. All right. Let's see what the autosave remembers. Yeah, the autosave did jack crap for me. Alright, so okay. FP, do you mean force pack? It's one of those things. Oh, there it is, FP Force Pack. I do use it for some things, but I haven't used it for work-related thing for a long time now. So let's see something. All right, again, create a new layer. Call it roof things, roof tiles, or whatever. And I just, whatever. Fine. It's fine. It's no problem. It's fine. Detach. Let's clone. Alright, it's fine. Detach. Let's clone. Alright. Not. Copy. There we go. So paste. Not like that. Instead, you're gonna go 0. What we had here, like, was it 150? No, 50, 30, 20, 30, by 30. And then we had some tilt. Ooh, not that much. Not that much by long shot. Go back like that. And tilt 0 is fine. Spread. Okay. Copy. Paste. Those two, get a red color and de-isolate. Now, if I do this thing like so again, oh, so that's why it's keep crashing. This is not a flat surface, maybe. So, alright, so make it flat on the Y. There you go. Make it flat on the Y. And now we're gonna save before we do anything else, because we know for a fact Max likes to crash. So let's try with it 10 like that, and go to detach as a clone. Now copy it from here, paste it here. Ah! Alright, we will not be doing that thing then. Yay, Autodesk. Alright, we will not be doing that thing then. We will definitely not be doing that thing again. Why is there not the possibility to just get something to work fine without it crashing all the time? Alright, so close this thing, close that thing. What is this thing? Ah, no, don't close this thing. Warframe is now free to play on disk. What the hell is this? I don't know what for. Okay, stream related. All right, let's get some ideas about how to. Okay, mountain house interior examples. So this is what I like. This is what I had in mind. I want to have something like a seating place that's gonna be for the interior. And before I started like working on this help crashing place and trying to fix this thing, for this stream I actually had in mind to start creating some stuff for this place. So let's jump over there. For now I'm gonna leave this thing alone, and what I can probably do as well. Is just if this thing continues to give me this issues, I can just do is go in and manually create those planks later on. But for now, just screw that thing in particular. Now, let's hide my roof so I can see what the hell's going on here. So roof tiles, hide that thing, roof height. Yeah. I want to put something in here. So on the first floor, so we have something to start generally populating the scene, because it really does look too bare. We have the scene as it's more or less made. So let's go and create some assets for this place. Okay, if you guys have any ideas, now is the right time to pitch them to me. How do you want us to like make this house? What do you want to put in there? Generally, I do like this idea. So we have like some seating, some stuff like this. Like I said, I do like this thing because you can like place it around the whole house. Not gonna be too hard to create, and it has some reusability. Please you to turn up the volume a little more. The only way that I can turn up the volume a bit more is I start yelling. Am I actually like silent for everybody? Let me see. Audio. All right, so hopefully this kind of did something. If this didn't do anything, this will be interesting. Okay, microphone, properties, listen. Hey, hello, hello, okay, from what I'm seeing, this thing works okay. Hey, what do you know? There is a boost, a microphone boost. Do I sound better now? Or is it too loud? I hate this delay. Every time I speak, I have to wait loud. Well, all you gotta like really tell me if you like this or you don't like this. Am I too low or am I too loud? What is the problem? All right, if Rodrigo says it's fine, it's fine. All right, if I'm okay, I'm okay. All right, let's start up with some ideas then. I like this idea as to where things are or how things are made up. I like the colors here, very bright. This is okay. That's fine. This is fine. All right. First of all, I'm going to start up with something that I can use in multiple places, and that would be maybe this thing. This would be easy to create, so let me go and open link, save this thing as, how am I going to call this? The screwy chair. So, Twitch, no, not the Twitch, no. Save the image. Alright, Which folder ideas? A-frame house. Chair. All right, cool. So I got that screwy chair downloaded. I don't know why I like the idea of calling it a screwy chair. For that screwy chair, I'm gonna save this thing and I'm gonna start a new scene. I don't want to work on modeling an asset in my main scene. So what I'm gonna do here is open up an A-frame, open up my chair. There we go. All right, so for this thing, from what I can see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So these 4 elements are basically the seat, which is more or less a cylinder. It's kind of squished up a bit on the bottom. We have the actual screw here. I don't know if this thing is metal or if it's wooden, although it kind of looks like it's wooden. We have these cylinders that are holding up these legs, and we have those legs. From what I can see here, there is one of those wooden cut-ins here. So, all right, it shouldn't be that hard to create, so let's go ahead and do it. All right, since I have no idea how big this thing is, I'm gonna have to like guess. So I'm gonna start off with a sphere. The sphere thing is gonna be something as big as what? This is gonna be 30. Gonna be like, I don't know. Let's try with 30 centimeter radius. So it's gonna be like, all right. Just so I don't screw this thing up, let me check Google, and probably Google's gonna have an idea as to how big the chair is supposed to be. Okay. Chair seat size. Holy, why are you giving me Bing? I don't want a Bing. Chair seat size. Chair seat size. How to choose the right size dining chairs. How to select a chair. Dimension. All right, let's try it as a stool then. Stools. Okay, maybe something's gonna have a... All right, here we go. Now, so 360 millimeters at 36. So this is 18 centimeters in radius. Cool. So 18. All right, so for this 18, what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I don't need the whole sphere. So out of this, I'm gonna go and make it a lower. Oh, nope, 24. Okay, so edit poly, delete this thing, and get this thing to move upwards like that. And like that. Press J to get rid of those brackets, G to get rid of that thing. For the grid, go into here, get the set flow, and then scale it outwards just so we get it to be like this. Now get the border to go in one more and collapse. Get this thing, go in one more time, pull it downwards one more time, and one more time collapse like this. And now I just want to get this outer edge in here, chamfer it up with a very small amount, like 0. maybe 2, to help drive that edge. And with a turbo smooth, all right, very close to what I'm seeing in here. What I might want to do here though is just get rid of this thing like so, because I don't want to have this thing end up with triangles. It's not a problem, but it's just a personal preference. I'd rather much have this thing go on like this and end up, or what I can also do here, if I don't want to do this geometry, just delete this one, get the border, convert to a edge selection, and deselect 2 of the opposing edges and bridge it together like this. This will give me geometry that's going to be like this. So again, much cleaner. Yeah, same here. Let's do the same thing again. Delete border, deselect 2 from the corners, bridge together. Boom, we have a clean geometry with quads. All right, cool. So now I'll give it a different color. All right, much better to see. I actually like the fact that I have this transition in here, because you have on these chairs, I can actually see that I have that dip in here. So I want to keep that thing. All right, so next thing we want to do is make this thing, which is going to be going from the bottom up to the top. So the screw, the actual screw on our screwy chair. All right, so again, see dimension 725. So it goes from 725, 72.5. Let's do it like this. First of all, let's move this thing to 0, 0. Now, cylinder. 72.5. Get this thing to 4 centimeters, so 8 will be enough. So this is the height at which this thing should be when it's seated. And what I need to do here, just so it's going to be easier to work with, I'm going to go and add in one edit poly, put in one cut in there. Actually, you know what? Get 2 of these. Actually, make it more like this, depending on how many of these swivels I want to have. Let's try something like this, 13. And just isolate 2 of these. Should I just go like this? And let's see if this thing is going to work like this. All right, if I move this thing upwards, let's select 3. All right, and go detach as a clone. Move this thing to the side. Now, select the one in the middle and delete. And in here, what I want to do is detach this, not as a clone but as one. So now we can have no longer that thing. And for this one, I want to get my soft selection, use soft selection, edge distance, and slowly yeah, that's gonna work. But I need this. Oh crap, I shouldn't have deleted. Alright, that was a mistake on my behalf. Oh, whoa, wait a second. I gotta save first before I do Control Z one more time and this thing crashes again. So Twitch, scene, and screwy chair. 01. Okay, selection is fine, so attach again. So now reselect those two and weld. Now get that selection with this. Turn on the soft selection of edge distance, increase the edge distance back. So now when we move this thing like so, okay, now it can move right. So I just want to get this thing to go up to here, like so. All right, cool. Now select this entire piece up here, delete. All right, that's fine. Turn off the soft selection. All right, so now move this thing only on the Z as many times as we need it upwards. Let's see how this thing is going to look like. Yeah, it's going to build up no problem. So all we got to do is just put in the actual dips, and those dips are going to be like that. So go in, create one connect. All right, now extrude, not that much, definitely not that much. So this is going to control how do we want this thing to go or protrude outwards, or go and make a dip inwards. The hell, did I just select something else? Yes. So minus, let's say -3 might be too much. All right, let me check my thing. Okay, from what I can see, these guys are not going in but outwards, so let's make it positive. So 0.3, like so, and that's gonna be okay. Now I do want to have this thing selected and this thing selected, and on this thing I do want to have one more chamfer to help with holding that form. So something like this, 0.05. Okay, so now I can select this thing and drag it up to here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna make this as an instance for now, just so that when I move this vertex in here, I can snap it over to this place, snap this guy over here, and make sure everything snaps correctly. There we go. All right, awesome. So now I can again delete this And now when I go and move them upwards, they are all going to be right in size. So number of copies, let's try with, I don't know, how big is this? It's supposed to be 50. Of course it's not going to be enough. It's never enough. Alright, so 50 is... Alright, let's hit it with 70 and go from there and delete what's left over. So upwards, 70. Close enough. And okay, that's fine. Cool. Now select this whole thing, isolate it. Alright, so I just need to make one more of these guys. That's gonna go from the edge here up until this place, and it's gonna start like getting flat, so it can actually end up as a flat surface down here. So for this, I'm actually gonna select just this bottom one up to this point where it starts going upwards. And start getting it so it's like so. Okay. And these guys should have one that's going to go down like so. Alright, cool. Isolate just the one on the bottom. Alright, now let's start by putting all of these. Well, this one is going to get targetable at there. I just need to have everything at the same height. Yeah, see, I can do the helix thing, but when you would do the render for something that has a screw on it, believe me, the end result will not be favorable. Especially if you're gonna have this thing dropped into something like Unreal, where you can walk around the scene and you can actually see it. That's so gonna break the immersion. You have no idea. So that, okay. So everything should be at this height. One of the things you need to understand about the difference in modeling for visualization, like for static visualization that you do with V-Ray, versus modeling for real-time rendering for a game engine like Unreal or Unity or whatever, or any other like render, is that it has a different set of rules. Like in a renderer, you can choose which areas you want to focus depending on what the camera is seeing, opposed to what you can like walk around in a scene. In an open scene, you can see everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So from here, target well. Plus, you give the people the option to like walk around your scene, and they're gonna find ways to break your scene in a manners you've never thought possible. So you want to make sure that everything is clean. Alright, it's 186, it's fine. Collapse these two. Yeah, you can end up there, but instead I don't want to have this many, so collapse. Collapse. All right. There. This smoothing groups is like really screwing with me. Alright, better I guess. Check this thing, see how this thing is gonna work. Yeah. Collapse. That's fine, that's fine. Alright, since this thing is like so, I can just go in, do one cut like that, or insert, one more, another one, and just do this thing again. So with the bridge, there we go. I could turn off axis constraint when I don't need it. It always constrained to 1 or 3 axis. If you want to turn off the axis constraint, just press F8 on your keyboard. That will remove your axis constraints wherever you have selected. So turning on the turbo smooth here will give me, yeah, what I was expecting. Cool. So now isolate this thing. Select everything, save first before every time before you do something that might break your scene, save. And also, hell, if we're gonna do this thing like this, I'm gonna go and get this thing up to here. Let's see if I can just flip this thing around. So mirror on the Z. Alright, and now mirror on the Y. Alright, so we don't have to like redo the whole thing for the capping there as well. Ah, crap, I'm gonna have to do some mirroring then. Alright, I can work with this. It's gonna be a bit of cleanup, but still. Isolate. Now, connect everything or attach everything together. So, select all of the vertices, weld with a very small amount. Oh, no. Make sure we are only welding the things that we want to weld. Here there might be some issues, but we'll see. So select everything, clear all, auto smooth. Turbo smooth. Nope, no issues. That's fine. That's not gonna be an issue. It's not gonna even be visible. What I can do is just instead of having that thing taper in there, I can get it to kind of tapers upwards, so we don't get that pinch there. There we go. All right, so for the top, I can do the same thing that I did for the bottom. But before we do the turbo smooth, just and isolate. Now take this thing, move it downwards. What? Seriously? On moving? Yeah, tell me about it. At least it offered to save. Oh, it actually saved. It did the thing that I was asking it to do. It saved and then it crashed. Alright, I can live with that. Alright, so now I simply just move these guys over to where they're supposed to be. I bet this is just somebody at Autodesk sitting there and he was like, you know what? We're gonna put a feature in 3ds Max. It will do what people are asking it to do, but it will crash, just so it kind of screws with their work. What was the name of that Smurf that hates everything? Has anybody watched the Smurfs? I know we grew up in those cartoons. There was like this particular Smurf that hated everything. Was it like Grumpy or whatever? Smurf Grumpy? Or Smurf, whatever it was called. Alright, attach with this thing now. Weld. Alright, that's fine. So when I put turbo smooth on it, 2 iterations, and it's gonna give me a really, really nice swivel here. There we go. And go in here, center to center. There we go, delete this thing. I just realized something. Ah, damn it. This shit is supposed to be 720 centimeters from the bottom to where it's actually seated. But this thing is supposed to like swivel down. So this is the height at which it's supposed to be extended. Ah! Ugh. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Screw it. You're getting there we go. I fixed it. Nah, I didn't. Whatever. You're gonna be like this. You're gonna get scaled. Well, what can I say? Finally, we proved size does matter. Alright, let's give you a different color then. Alright, so this thing now is actually interesting, because what I can do here for this one is again do another cylinder, and this one's going to be a bit bigger, go on the inside or whatever. Yeah, you see, this is one of those things you learn when you start like creating stuff without actually following blueprint, or you just like trying to eyeball stuff. You learn that, well, you're gonna screw up. So insert. Like this, bridge, ring, loop, chamfer. So very small chamfer, 0.1. So how many do I have here? How many sides is this thing? This thing has 18 sides. So let's see something. If I go 2 on this side, let me just isolate this thing. 2 on this side, or yeah, 2 skip 3, 2 skip 3. No, it looks like crap. So I get 3 on this side, and no, it doesn't work that way either. Alright, so I apparently got a crappy choice. This is not the right size, so 18 does not work. 20. So insert again, whatever. And de-isolate. So minus 3.5, 3.6, and bridge. Now let's see if this thing is going to work this way. So get 2 of the 2 on this side. Skip 3, get 2, skip 3, get 2, skip 3, get 2. Yeah, this works. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to like get the idea as to where these guys would come in. So we basically take, from what I can see here, there's something on this part, but basically it kind of extends, and these two kind of like go into it. So see those screws? I'm guessing those are going all the way in the frame here. So yeah, this is gonna work. But this, so we basically select 2, skip 3, select 2, skip 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Yeah, that's gonna work. So let's add in those chamfers. So now again, loop on that ring with the chamfer of 0.1. Click OK. And now I want to go in here, connect 2 segments, pinch them apart just a tiny bit, maybe something like this. So now select 2, skip 3, select 2, skip 3, select 2, skip 3, select 2, skip those 3, and extrude. Like maybe what, 2 centimeters should be fine. All right, cool. So once I put on a turbo smooth, these should be held around here. Here, oh, I just do it. So it's gonna be the same thing all across. Ring, connect 2 segments and pinch them apart Click OK. Turbo smooth. In this case, I don't really care about this inner side because it's probably going to be covered up. But we do want to get something to hold that edge. So let's do something like this. One corner there, one there. The reason why I'm trying to like get this piece is so I can see that it has that swivel over here or in here. It kind of like melds into this form. So I'm trying to get that thing to at least stick around as much as possible. So let me try and do this as well. So go to edge, move it. So I want to move it for minus 0.1. So on the X, minus 0.1. And how's that thing gonna look like with the turbo? Much better. Come to think of it, what I could do is just select one of these guys, and instead of doing that same thing all across, just get it from here. But before I do that, it's actually right. Detach this as a clone. Ah, right, of course. I didn't select that thing. Ah! Fuck. You know what? Screw that thing. Screw that idea with getting it. Just make it as it is. Let me see how this thing is going to look. And if that thing is going to even be visible. I don't want to spend way too much time just on something that's barely going to be visible. Yeah, like I thought. So now. If you guys ever had that thing happen to you, you spend way too much time working on something that in the end it ends up being something that's barely ever going to be visible. So there's one over there. So there's gonna be one near the bottom. One is gonna be up here. I'm gonna save this now. Oh no, don't save it as a recover. No. Save it as an actual scene. Twitch scene. Screwy chair 02. Believe it or not, most of the things I've spent way too much time working on something. Like I want to get something to be up to perfection. I spend a lot of time, a lot of effort trying to get everything to look great, and in the end I've had certain clients that ended up going with something like, well, that's not that important, let's not even put it in the scene. Alright, so for this now. Let's go with box. So 55, 5 by 5. Yeah, but that's the thing though. When they start talking with you at the beginning, it's always something that has to be done. That's a pivotal point. That's a pivotal model that defines the scene and everything, and you start working on it, and then they go like, well, you know, wait, that's actually not that important. Skip it. And that usually happens after you spend like 10 hours trying to make it. It's weird how people actually start thinking after a while. Alright, so put one there just so it kind of holds that edge. Move this thing up so it's in the 0. That's fine. That's fine. Move this thing up like a bit. Alright. So now you and you can get a small chamfer. Like so, you get a look. You and you are gonna get a cut. So it just kind of flares out a bit. And move it inwards. If you're gonna be like doing 3D work, it's more or less always about details. Like you start off with something rough, and then you start like going in and refining that thing until it's perfect. And in your eyes, it's never perfect. And what really bothers you is that after you spend a lot of time working on something, and you know it's like as close to perfection, somebody else comes in and tells you that it has to be different because it doesn't have any errors, but they have a different idea. They don't tell you what the problem is. They just go like, change it. That's always a fun thing to do. All right. I'll get this thing in. Yeah, that's gonna be enough. So I'm gonna see, instead of actually doing it with the adding of geometry, I'm gonna try and fake it a bit. And that faking is gonna be done with smoothing groups. So 10. All right, that's okay. Alright, okay. So one smoothing group for this, Control I, without the bottom. Control go, one for you, one for you. Actually, you might get one there. there. Now when I put on the turbo smooth alongside with smoothing groups on, yeah, that shouldn't be in there, so I'm gonna select the number 1, select IV 1. Why is everything not selected? Okay, so this thing should be the same smoothing group. Now, okay. I'm definitely not going to play with the smoothing group crap, so let's just go and add in the needed geometry. Alright, that's one in there. One to hold that edge, one to hold this one, one to hold that one. Yep, this thing here is gonna get cut like that, cut like this, and there one, and the turbo smooth. What is up with this edge so sharp? Okay, just so I don't get this thing to be this sharp, turn on edge constraint, move it backwards. Or you can just go in here and set flow. Same here, set flow. I will get rid of that sharpness there. There. Cool, so the one here is okay, but this one needs to get a tiny bit more inwards. No, my angle, no. Turn off constraints, pull it in. I'm definitely gonna have to revisit this thing again. So effect pivot, put it center to center, no, pivot to pivot. Okay, so now go to this thing, turn off pivot and go on 90, just 90. And go 4, call it 3 copies. So for now I'm going to leave this thing like this, but I'm actually going to try and find some proper blueprint so I can see how this thing is made, because I'm really not happy with how this thing looks like. First of all, I don't know the distance between these two, but yeah, this might end up being as a modeling tutorial later on. For now I'm just going to leave it crappy like this. Just select this and this, delete, give it a color, yeah, that's gonna find 90 as instances, 3 instances of it, it's fine. Cool. Does anybody else actually have any idea what's the name of this chair? Maybe you've met it somewhere, or you know how this chair might be manufactured. Anything that can help me find some technical specs, that would be more than helpful. Alright, screw each here. For now, I'm gonna just save it like this. Without the turbo smooths. I don't need the turbo smooths right now. I'll add those turbo smooths once we're finished with the whole thing. So turbo smooth off. So far we got 9,000 polygons on this thing. Way too much. But yeah, all of those polygons are coming from just this thing. Yeah, 7K polygons in this thing. Which, come to think of it, the thing that we just did, this is a prime example for really nice high poly model that can be used for baking. So we can bake this thing down so we can get some texture, or a normal map that we can use for whatever model that might actually have some struts on it. So we get back to our frame cottage and don't save this thing. And in here, let's just go in to my, do I have assets? What do I have in these assets? Okay, so in here, in the assets, I have this sphere. I don't want to call this sphere, just call it stove or burner or stove, whatever. What are these? Chimneys. Stove pipes. Stove connector. And grill, stove grill. Alright, that's fine. That's cool. Now let's hide everything in here. That's okay. Alright, so now let's go in and import just one of these that we just did. So, or not, I don't want to import, I want to merge. So, merge with the scene that I just created. So find it in my, where the hell did I just save that thing? There we go. Merge screwy. Okay. Where the hell is it? Okay, we'll do it manually then. If this is not going to allow me to do it that way, we can always do it this way. Screw a chair number 2, merge. Oh, what the hell? Move to assets, and why do I have all this stuff now? Ah, damn it, everything has that same turbo smooth on it. Alright, that should, you know what, this is actually just fine because I can attach everything and just hold this thing as a placeholder for once we have the whole thing. So there we go. Still need piano stool in walnut. Okay, let me see. Walnut by James. And Pierce. Oh wow! All right, that's the one. That's the one. Oh. Alright, piano stool, James Pierce. Valentina, you got my like for today. Yeah, this is the one. I'm pretty sure that if this thing is available here, where can I find this? Footer.com. What is footer.com? Antique. Holy crap, this is an interesting thing. Hay needle. Ah, see, I don't need the blueprint. Oh, snap. This is actually just one piece up here. One of these sites has to have this thing for sale. Search piano stools. Come on. Really? Alright, I'll find it somewhere. Yeah, $1,000 for something like this. I don't know. One of the chairs that I know I've worked in the past, like it was really ridiculously overpriced chair. I think it was something like $15,000. And it looked like it was made out of branches that somebody randomly found in the forest. And they're just like, they were like, I'm gonna take these 3 branches, put them together and call them a chair and charge $15,000 for it. But I guess if they're charging 15K, somebody's paying 15K for it, so yeah. It's not about the price, it's how much people are ready to pay for it. Alright, so this thing. Yep. So now I can do just this. I like those two. Move it. Goddamn thing is still too big. All right, that's much more compact. Well, it is a nice tool. Although I would never pay $1,000 for something like this. It does not look comfy. It looks like one of those chairs or stools, what we call them, we used to have when I was in kindergarten, and when they would like make you go sit in the corner when you were like, if you've done something bad. So as a punishment, you had to sit on a chair like this and watch it, or like face the wall or something. I don't know. It does not look like a comfy chair. All right, that's fine. Let's go and get this affected here, like so. And the isolate, let's go. Now, all right, once I have this, what I want to do next is at least, all right, for today, I want to do just one more thing. I want to place down the placeholders for elements that we want to put in our scene. Now, if I have that, at least I will know what to place where. So I just want to go in here now and place those placeholders. So let me just do this. go create here placeholders, and let's go and find us some images for ideas. Let's get rid of that thing. I know that I had, where is it? So we have this service tool. Who placed, oh, Valentina, you were the one that actually placed this link. So you're the one to blame for me modeling this thing. Cool. Is Falcon with us today? Because he is the one that placed all of these ideas. Alright, so let's see. Ooh. I'm seeing something here that I actually do like. Let's see if we can actually get that thing in our scene as well. So basically what we can do is, instead of having this thing to be as a door, or the only place is going to be a door and let some light out or light in, we can put some actual windows or sky portals up here. But what we can do also is put a door in here as well, so you can actually walk in here. Because from what I'm seeing in here, it really doesn't look like a bad idea. If we put a door in here though, we're gonna have to put something like a wall here, so we don't get this slope. Oh, snap. That's actually an amazing idea. Let me just see this. And de-isolate. And what I want to do is get this thing to move in. Move it maybe to about here. Oh, it's gonna take way too much space, so let's put it something like this. Pull it in this way. Disregard the fact that it's going out, but what we want to get here is by, seriously, what the hell is going on here? Exterior, we'll just hide these guys, hide the windows and doors. Just, yeah, if we put it like this, what happens is we get a nice look like here, like this thing. So you get the illusion that you are not in a 8-pillar house, but you're just like in a regular house. And this thing goes well with this piece here for the steps. We can fill up that thing as well. We will lose a bit of space, but we're gonna get a lot of square, a lot of like space. The space is gonna get squarish. It's gonna look like you're inside a house, opposed to being inside an 8-pillar house. Might be an interesting idea to take a look at. So move this thing just a tiny bit back to about this big, I guess. Alright, let's really quickly just add in one cut. I want to get this thing, if nothing else, at least for the idea. And rotate. Like that. Slice. Turn off. cut that thing off. Cap. Oh, really? Of course. So, weld. And the interesting thing is that I wanted to have my kitchen in here. So what I can at least do is keep this thing as a filler, put the kitchen in front of it, and then on this wall, or knowing that this thing is not going to be an actual wall, because with textures or materials I can break this thing up in Unreal when we are, I can put something like a ventilation shaft in here, or a model for a ventilation shaft that will make it so whenever like you're cooking something, that thing will like suck up the air and throw it out from here. Or I might scrap the whole idea with this piece, but I actually do like this because this can allow me to put a door in here and just make it a walk-in. So that might be a cool idea as well. We'll see. All right, so we have that thing. Now for this, I want to have something like some sort of a table in here. So let's call this PLH or placeholder, kitchen wall, PLH table. It doesn't have to be this big, it can be a smaller one. So let's try maybe 200 by 150, I don't know, something like this. So we can drop it in. Some chairs. No, I just go like this. And the chairs can be 50 by 50. Ah, damn it. Is this a reference or an instance? It's an instance and a copy. So 50 by 50 by 50. So we can either go with something like this or something like this. This would be for a much larger saloon space, because if we put something like this, the table alone with this thing, I don't think we're gonna have enough of space to play around with that thing. So we might actually end up going with more something down these lines, which might not be a bad idea at all. Put one nice couch in here, put some woven things on it, put a chair, one table, something on the base. Yeah, let's try it with something like this then. So one chair like here, one table in here. Well, the table might be much smaller, but this thing here is gonna be the seat or the sofa. So let's see how big generally the sofas get. So go sofa size. All right, dimensions in centimeters. 2, 3, 4 seaters, sofa, bachelor living room. All right, so it goes, it kind of depends if it's going to be a 2-seater boutique sofa, so 150 or 220. This thing is more like 220. All right, so we'll go with a 220. Oh wow. All right, 220 for the sofa. PLS sofa. This table is like half of this, half of it. So 220, that would be 110 by 50. more by 50, so 80. So those two are fine. One chair here is gonna be just all right, but this is gonna be much bigger. So maybe 80 by 80 by 80. So I know what the hell's going on. That's not a table. This is gonna be a chair. All right. So if we have the placeholder for our bed, our chair, and our table. In here though, what we want to put in is probably going to be something like some storage, or yeah, something like, oh, wood. Okay, we don't want to place wood. What I do need though is probably something like this, a place where you can put something to eat, because we're going to have a kitchen, so we might as well go in. I can put the fireplace as well. Yeah, we can move stuff around. For now, I'm just trying to add in elements that we're gonna have to add in. So maybe just take one more like this. And if we're gonna have, or let's, you know what? Let's just take this chair and put it on this side. And oh, wait a second, I gotta take into account the fact that there's a goddamn wall in here. See? There's gonna be a wall in there, so get those three guys to move a bit over on this side. So height, let's try 150. Oh, no 150. Whoa. What the hell? Why is this? Why is 150 so goddamn tall? Did I scale something? The fuck? The hell is going on here? Measure this thing. What the hell is going on? Why is 1.5 meters so tall? Is my scene too small? No? What? Why? Dude, what the hell just happened to you? Why is everything going wrong for me now? Nah, I keep forgetting that this thing is a low. It has a low ceiling. But nah, it's fine. We'll work with this. All right, so for this thing, I'm gonna have like probably end up with some sort of a table. So if it's gonna be here, it's probably gonna be a table that we can like sit around on it and I don't know, have lunch or dinner or whatever. But plus, if I take all of this in and then put in the kitchen appliances, it's gonna have very little space. It's probably gonna end up without this place, and on this place I'm gonna have my kitchen appliances. But we'll see. We'll see. Once we start putting in stuff and then we start visualizing it in Unreal, we'll get a much better idea as to what the space is and how it feels like. And from there we can go. Right, so from what I'm seeing, we've been streaming on for 2 hours now. We did make some progress. We modeled a chair. We managed to get quite a bit of like crashing going on. We finished up this upper piece of the house. So for next time, I want to actually start working on assets that I can use up in the scene. And hopefully get to a point where it starts getting fun to start importing stuff into Unreal, get a better idea, and then start making some assets to finish up this scene inside Unreal. I actually started playing around with creating the environment as well. So I'm going to be placing this thing inside or in an environment that's going to be forest. So yeah, this is going to end up being a fun scene. But all in all, that would be more or less it for today. Next stream will probably be on Tuesday, or if I get some free time, I might actually do one more in Saturday. So if you guys want to join me, that would be great. I always do love your input. I love your ideas. I love your suggestions. It's always fun. And don't forget, hit that like button on this stream. Come on. I wanna see you all hit that like button. That thing does help a lot, and it brings in more people, brings in new people, and they join us, and we get more ideas, and in the end, everything ends up being better. All right, so like I said, thank you everybody, and I will see you all in the next stream. Bye bye.